Hi and welcome to Eraser Carver. I haven't done a video in a long time, so I thought I would do another one, and I actually thought I would do one about a new carving material that I've come across, which is called SoftCut. And if you've watched my videos before, you will see that, obviously being called Eraser Carver, I tend to use an eraser like material. My favourite one is PZ Cut from America, but I can't always get hold of that. So I've actually also been using the Speedball Speedy Stamp, which is available from Blade Rubber Stamps here in the UK. But whilst I was searching for some products for a workshop that I was doing, I came across a material called SoftCut, which I got from T.N. Lawrence, and this is slightly different to the eraser carving material. It's actually a vinyl type of material. Obviously you won't be able to see it here, but it's quite smooth on top, very flexible. It's got a matte background here, so I guess you could probably also cut into that and actually use matte background as some texture, because it is slightly textured, but I've been using the soft side. Now, when I first started off with SoftCut, I wasn't very happy with it, I must say, and I've actually put it away for a couple of months. But that's purely because it didn't work with my particular style of carving. I like to do very fine, intricate detail, and if you've watched me before, then you will know that the blade that I tend to use is a very sharp V-pointed blade. I don't know if you can quite see that there, but if you go onto my website there are close-up pictures of it, and I was finding it really hard to get a good cut using that blade, and so I just put the SoftCut to one side and decided not to use it. But I was playing around this week and I wanted to do a lino print, series of lino prints actually. There's the OM symbol that I've just did yesterday. In fact, there we go, that's it the right way round. And I've actually printed that up with a coloured background for sale. But I also wanted to do, as part of that series, a peace symbol, and there was another one that I wanted to do as well, but I'll remember that when it comes to it. So when doing the OM symbol, I decided to try and use this SoftCut just to give it a go, and instead of using my V blade, I actually decided to use the wider U blade, and found that that really worked nicely with the SoftCut. I could actually get a nice cut with it. So if ever you come across new materials, I mean, I suppose the lesson is just to try and work in different methods and don't give up on the material straight away. And it's actually very good value, this SoftCut. I've got a pack of 10. That's 150 mils by 100 mils, and let's see, it was £7.20 from T.N. Lawrence, so I think that was great value. So I'm going to get on with the piece print now, and I want them all to be the same size, so I'm just going to put the on print on top of there and just mark off where that was. That's a nice thing about this SoftCut, your pencil lines do actually show up. It's quite easy to cut as well. I just get my little ruler and just take a few passes through with my knife. There we go. So I think I'm just going to draw directly onto the SoftCut to make this, and I've decided to use this as a template. It's just one of those double-sided sticky sellotape rings. And this is actually an F grade pencil, so it would probably be better if I used a B, but it's what I picked up. and the line doesn't come out too badly anyway. was wondering whether to use this as an inner circle or just do that freehand. I'll just do that freehand, I think. Let's follow the line round. If you hear any strange squeaks in the background, that's my cat Ash, or monkey cat as I call her. She's been especially monkey-like today. Okay, so that's that. Very simple. A piece symbol straight down the middle, and 2 branches off on the side. Marvellous. So I'm going to carve that out pretty much as I've done before. Just take the U blade up to the edge of the pencil line and just move around. Now the one thing with this SoftCut is that because it is harder material than the razor material, I do find that I tend to shoot off with the knife sometimes, so I'm definitely trying to keep my hands behind the blade, and definitely don't want to put my hands here. I want to keep them behind the blade because you never know when your hands are going to slip. So I'm just going to go all the way around, clear that out. So what I'm going to do now is I'll just go around all of these pieces, here, 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 just clear them all out so I've got the edges outlined, and then I'll come back later once I've done that. Okay, nearly finished cutting around the edges, and I just thought I'd show you because they're quite sharp angles, these pieces, just how I deal about that. I just take the blade up to almost the corner there, and again almost into the corner, and then with this SoftCut you can actually take a scalpel blade, craft knife, and just cut out the corner yourself. Remember to keep the craft knife at a 45-degree angle, and then it'll create a nice base for the print. Just cut those little bits out. And then just cut out this little bit here. Right, so now that I've got the main design cut out, I'm going to go ahead and cut out all the inner pieces. Remember, just use your craft knife with little bits, don't come off like that. There you go. And you may know from my style of carving that I love to have the shadows, and it just creates lots of movement, and the shadows are basically what's left behind when I'm carving out large areas. They're just the little bits of carving material that are left behind, so this is going to be fantastic for that. I'm just going to go around here in lots of large circles, and in these bits I'm just going to follow exactly the shape of the inner area, which I'll just start off now. So any of these little raised lines, if they're high enough to pick up the ink, then they will do. And sometimes I even direction this so that it will actually, you know, make a line that definitely will print. And that just gives some nice movement to the finished print. So I'm going to go ahead and finish all of that off, cut out the entire spare area of this print. Remember, I do want these because I want it to be a square design, so I am going to go and clear out all of this area as well, and I shall come back later and we'll print it up. Right, I've finished carving out the peace symbol, as you can see. Got lots of lovely lines on there. So now I'm going to give it its first test print, and I'm just going to print it up with black. This is De La Rowney water soluble block printing colour. I've had this bottle for ages and I'm finally getting to the end of it, but I've had this bottle for literally years. It goes a long way. So just a squirt of that on there, and just roll the ink evenly distributed over the board and the brayer. Right, let's take this to the print now. And again, when picking up ink, just make sure you always roll in one direction. That means that you get an even amount of ink, because if you go back and forward like that, then you're only going to get ink on that place where you go back and forward. And again, the same thing, when you're rolling it out, go in just one direction, because again, if you just go back and forward, then you're only laying ink down in one place. Now, it takes a couple of passes, because as you can see, it doesn't quite adhere to it first time. Now, a solution to that might actually be just to give it a quick light sanding with a fine grade sandpaper, but to be quite honest, I can't really be bothered doing that. You can see though that the ink does start, you can even see it now, it's actually starting to move away. But that happened yesterday on the on print that I did yesterday, so I just kept going, adding more ink, and it actually was okay. So I'm going to need a little bit more ink on my tray. I have to apologise for the traffic noises outside. At the moment there is a temporary traffic light outside my studio, so I get all kinds of things just stopping there. Quite noisy at the minute. Okay, that's nice. There we go. Plenty of ink on there now. It's looking a lot better. Right, so just going to test print it with some copier paper first of all. Let's place the paper down. I'll just give it a bit of a smooth over with my fingers first, and then I get my barren and put some pressure on. Okay, that should be alright. And here we go. First print. Not bad. I think I've actually got a bit too much ink on there. That's come out quite thick, so let's give that another go. I won't even pick up any more ink from there. I'm just going to roll it from the brayer as it was. Let's try it again. Use the other side of that bit of paper. That's looking better. You can see the difference between the two. That's the one that I've just done, and that was the one earlier, and you can see that the ink, because there's too much ink on there and it's actually squidged out of you know, where it should be, and it really looks quite messy. So that one, that's actually got a nice amount of ink on it. That looks nice and tidy. Right, well, I'm going to play about with that, do some different background designs for it, probably using watercolours, and this will be on sale soon. Right, well, thank you very much, hope you enjoyed that, and I'll catch you some other time.